Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be taking a look at Little Stranger by Edie Fake or Eddie Fake, and this is from Secret Acres. This is something I picked up at Mocha. This is a strange book to me. I don't know quite what to make of it. Some of it is just that it's like out of my taste range, even though there's some formal things that I like about it. It's a compilation of a bunch of short works and then sketches, so I don't even know quite what the organization is or what the overall, if this is just a collection of everything that Edie Fake has done in the last however long. That's what it seems like to me. There does seem to be a theme throughout it of like dark sexuality, I would say, things that seem to have grown out, and in dealing with what seems to be like kind of an abusive past or something, maybe. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of like interesting kind of poetics of form and thing you can see as I'm flipping through, like this really interesting alphabet snake that's going around here, and then I particularly like here snaking at the disco dollar and just the composition that's going on here. But again, I don't know exactly what all this adds up to. It's more narrative than the standard poetics of form type of thing, but also like pretty formal still. Like this is, I don't know what this is. It's just a one-off weird French tickler balloon thing. And there's weird little things here like the let's build a house, and then it goes on into basically using like baking imagery to talk about sexuality, and like I said, in a dark way. It says, fuck me like this, and you're having this turkey like getting cut all up, and this bread basically getting fisted, and the bodies being sliced up. I don't know. It's just a weird, uncomfortable view of body, and a weird, for me, uncomfortable, dark view of sexuality. Here we have again. I think there's, some body dysmorphia, or someone going through transition here, where you're chopping off one piece and replacing it with another. That seems to be a theme throughout the book as well. Yeah, like a lot of people chopping pieces off throughout the book. But then there are some more like straightforward stories, like this one. It's still weird, but this is I think Edie's going on a venture and is climbing up the wine tree. So there's more fantastical moments like that. And again, I enjoy the art, especially enjoy the art here. Like really like the format of this with this window, and that creates the panels, and then that kind of carries the story. But again, it's all kind of like very grotesque, and like there's a very predatory thing. Like you have a cracked window, anything could get in, you're in danger. So a lot of this just feels like someone dealing with having been prey at some point and being uncomfortable with their body due to that. That's my very probably unfair read of the book, but that's what it seems like to me. Again, some really cool things going on with color and production, actually, all throughout the book, like the way that everything's kind of different styles and is printed to look like it's on different color papers. It looks like collection of zines reproduced pretty well. It's nice. But then there's just this grotesqueness through it all that's not for me. But I know a lot of people actually kind of like these edgy, outlaw, grotesque comics. So this might be for some of you all, even though it's not for me. But here you have this character, again, kind of a predatory character, like having someone look in this tire full of leeches, and they basically, I can't even show it, but they latch the leeches onto themselves and like make breasts and penises with the leeches and then have sex that way. So again, like very dark kind of fetish aspect to these things. This is another one here where it's almost like a medical fetish, where someone's being in a sexual situation hooked up and actually having their blood drawn, and then being forced to eat a meal, the red soup with noodles and raisins. So I don't know. That's so far out of what I would want to experience in my life or have any interest of experiencing. It's just hard for me to relate to the book. I think the artist, I think Edie Fake, is doing exactly what Edie Fake wants to do with these stories, and so you have to celebrate that. But it's a bit much for me. Here again, there's almost like a bestiality aspect, where the author is imagining themselves basically sucking cow udders and jerking them off a bit, like sexualizing the cow udder in a a way that's very uncomfortable for me. I get that the author is trying to make us uncomfortable, I think. I don't think someone's producing this thinking, oh, everyone's just going to think this is normal. But it's pushing the boundaries of what I'm comfortable with. There are some things in here, like this one, going to the sex club, where it's just a series of puns, and to me that's funny. So, hey, it'll be 20 bones. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, $20. Hey, I'm down if they are. Come on, 20 big ones. Well, a boy can dream. So it's kind of has this like Abbott and Costello routine, but with sex jokes in it. So that kind of stuff is more enjoyable for me. Really quite like these pieces of fashion design right here. But this kicks off a big section that's pretty much all just sketches. So again, I'm not quite sure what to make of this as a book, other than this is the compilation of everything that Edie Fake has done that Edie likes, maybe? I'm not sure. Or everything that Edie's done in a certain time span. But some of it seems, like I don't know that this stuff adds up to anything for me. So it seems kind of like wasted space. But then we go to some really interesting formal stuff here in the back. Like, I have no idea what to make of this thing, but it's really intriguing to me. It says, clowns. Many clowns rely on the art of camouflage to avoid being spotted by predators. And then you have what basically looks like a 3D model topology, or a number of 3D model topologies that are being rotated and then plugged into these boxes here to make the images. So this one, in the sense of poetics of form, is really interesting to me. Again, I don't know what to make out of it, but in terms of images and sequence, I think this is a really interesting kind of addition to the repertoire of what comics can be. Then you just get, some more kind of sketchbook looking stuff that didn't add up to anything for me. Another more like visually formal comic that I quite like. The story doesn't add up, but again, talking about clowns. And then the final story goes back to the fetish interest, which with what appears to be just an interest in taking anal beads so far that they come out the other end and being hung through your guts on it. So I don't know, the formal, like even on these ones, that the content is not for me. The form is interesting enough that like I can enjoy it, but I quite like the when the formal stuff is just on its own and doesn't have this extra kind of obsession with dark fetish, because that's just my tastes and my preferences. But this does have, like I said, a lot of like compelling visuals in it, which I think is worth sharing with people. And I know other people have different tolerances and tastes than I do in terms of how dark their sexuality gets and what they want to have on their shelves. So I figured I'd show it, because I do think this is an artist that's building up a lot of different strategies, and probably will continue to do really interesting things that I'll probably still check out, even though the content's a bit sketchy for me. But I'm curious to see what this all adds up to and where this all goes. So Edie Fake's Little Stranger from Secret Acres, if you're interested in this book. Cover's awesome. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I was hoping for. These really awesome kind of shape-based designs that I'm intrigued by right now. So there's some of that in there. Anyways, something for you all to think about. Check out. I'm not going to make like a recommendation on this one because, like I said, it's not my taste, so it's hard for me to recommend it. But I do think that a number of people will probably enjoy it, so put it out there. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel, you enjoyed being exposed to different kinds of works like this, and you want to support us, there's two ways to do that. The first one's through our Patreon, where we have 2 tiers of engagement. The first one's just early access to our videos. At the second tier, you get exclusive access to an ongoing webcomic experiment that we're doing, where you can vote and help control how the story goes, as well as early previews and sneak peeks of just like private works, graphic novels, sketches, and stuff that Sean and I work on. So we really appreciate that. The money we get helps us buy the books that we review, so that's very much appreciated. If you want to support Living the Line itself, the best thing to do is to support what Sean's doing with Living the Line Publishing. So go ahead and take a look at one of his projects now.
Whole new world. Whole new world. Whole new world. Whole new world. Whole new world.
Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.